Let us solve the optoelectronics model question paper. The optoelectronics model question paper 1 consisting of 3 parts, part A, part B and part C. Part A mainly consisting of 4 main questions. You should answer any 3 of the following. And part B consisting of 4 problems. You should answer any 3 of the 4 problems. And part C will be consisting of 10 2 marks questions. You should answer any 6 out of 10. Okay, let us discuss first question in a part A. That is, first question will be, what is optoelectronics? Mention the 3 devices which works under the properties of optoelectronic properties. For this question you should answer what you mean by the optoelectronics and 3 devices which works under the optoelectronics properties. This question will carry 3 marks. Firstly, the optoelectronics. Optoelectronics is mainly the branch of physics which mainly deals with the study of both optics and the electronics. It mainly deals with the study of both optics and the electronics. So after the optoelectronics definition, you should answer, mention the 3 devices which works under the properties of optoelectronics. There are so many devices which works under the properties of optoelectronics. That means we can use both optics and the electronics in the devices. Examples: LEDs, photodiodes, solar cells are the examples for the optoelectronics devices. This question will be carry 3 marks. And the part A consisting of 4 questions. Firstly, the first question will be part A question and the second one will be B questions. The question will be, explain the concept of electron hole formation and the recombination in a semiconductor. This question will be carry 4 marks. You should answer, explain the electron hole formation in a semiconductor. So mainly we know that when the light radiation suitable frequency will be incident on a semiconductor, the semiconductor consisting of valence band and the conduction band, the holes in a valence band and free electrons in a conduction band. When the suitable frequency of radiation will be absorbed by the semiconductor, the electron in the valence band will move to the conduction band. Then the hole will be formed in a valence band and the free electron will be formed in a conduction band, so that the electron hole pair will be created when you supply the electric field for that semiconductors. When you supply some electric field to that semiconductor, the electron and hole will be moved in opposite directions. The electron, we know that the electron will be negatively charged particle that will be moved towards the positive end, and the holes will be positive charge, so that will be moved in a negative terminal of a semiconductor, so that the electron hole pair will be created and the recombination will be take place. So C question will be, explain the basic concept on interaction of light with a solid. For this question, this will be carry 5 marks. The first question will be carry 12 marks. First one will be 3 marks, 4 marks and the 5 marks. Explain the basic concepts on the interaction of a light with a solid. So when the light ray incident on any solid material, there are so many properties process will be takes place for a solids. It may be reflection, transmission, absorption or a refraction. There are mainly we takes the 3 process, that is reflection, transmission and the absorption. Firstly, we have to write what you mean by reflection and transmission and the absorption in a solid material. We know that the reflection will be take place in some material, transmission will be take place in some material and the absorption will be take place in some material. These 3 will be mainly depends on the atomic structure of that solid. It may be differ from one solid material to the another solid material. The reflection is nothing but when the light ray incident on any solid material, some amount light will be get reflected and some amount will be transmitted and some amount will be absorbed. This reflection will be measured in a solid depending on the absorption coefficient. Absorption coefficient is nothing but that will be the ratio of light reflected to the amount of light incident on it. Then transmission, similarly some light will be incident on a solid material, some amount of light will be transmitted depending on the atomic structure of a solid. This can be studied or this can be calculated using the transmission coefficient. It's also the ratio of the light transmitted to the amount of light energy incident on a solid. In some material, the absorption of a light will be takes place. All the amount will be absorbed in a solid. Total amount will be absorbed. This is also depends on the nature of a solid and the electrical and the element or atomical arrangement in a solid. This can be measured by the atomic constant called the absorption coefficient. Absorption coefficient and transmission coefficient and the reflection coefficient are the constant values. Second question will be explain the modulation bandwidth characteristics of LED. This question will be carrying 3 marks. So with the diagram we can explain the modulation bandwidth. So in optical communication, the modulation bandwidth may be defined either by electrical terms or maybe in the optical terms. Normally in a optoelectronics we normally define or we normally study the modulation bandwidth in a electrical terms, because the bandwidth can be determined by electrical circuitry. So therefore the modulation bandwidth be defined in a point where the electrical signal's power will be dropped the half of the constant value. That means the electrical signal power will be goes on increasing and after some constant value that will be decreased to the half of the constant value. We call that constant value as a modulation bandwidth. So that by the diagram we can explain the modulation bandwidth, that is the modulation bandwidth. From the graph we can define the modulation bandwidth. In the x-axis the optical bandwidth and in the y-axis the power will be takes place. When you increase the optical bandwidth or optical frequency versus power, if it goes on increasing the frequency, at some point the current will be decreased or drop to the half of the power. We call that power as a optical bandwidth. That means the distance from here to here where it will be decreased from half of the constant, we call that point as a optical bandwidth. And in the problem solving we use this formula, that is I omega will be equal to I naught into I plus omega t square whole to the power of minus 1 by 2. That means that the light intensity I omega will be light intensity. If you want to calculate what will be the light intensity, we use this formula to calculate the light intensity in a LEDs. So this will be also depends on the bandwidth of a particle, and theoretically and practically that value will be differ because of the forward current modulation. Because of the forward current in a LEDs, this value will be differ for practically and the theoretical values. And the next question, second B question, will be write any two advantages and the disadvantages of LED. For this we can write any two advantages and any two disadvantages of a LED. The LED, we know that the LED will be used in the communication devices, even in the further because the LED will be faster response and the manufacture will be very easy, so that we use the LED in the communication process. And LED will be very small and easily can travels or easily can move from one place to the another, and we can use the LEDs in a printed board because the size of the LED will be very small. And the disadvantages also have in a LED because the manufacturing technology was very difficult, and we can use the LED manufacturing will be price or manufacturing of LED will be very expensive. These are all two disadvantages. This will be carrying 4 marks, advantages and the disadvantages, so that we can write any 2 advantages and the disadvantages of LED. And the third question in a part, second main question will be part C question will be, with a neat diagram explain the edge emitting LED. For this, the diagram also carrying the marks. We can write the edge emitting LED like this. This will be mainly the edge emitting LED means the radiation or light will be emitted from the edge of an LED. So that we can write what is the edge emitting LED. Edge emitting LED are mainly used in the communication process. Mainly the edge emitting LED are used in the communication process, and the edge emitting LED will be considered P layer and N layer. N2 NPN LED. This is also an NPN LED. N layer and the P layer are very important in the edge emitting LED. So these edge emitting LED consisting of control active layer. So mainly the middle layer will be control active layer, and the 2 P layer and the N layer are clouded layers. We call N layer and the P layers are 2 clouded layers. These 2 layers are helps to the configuration and the electron hole pair combination, so that the radiation will be emitted from these 2 clouded layers. N layer and the P layers are called as clouded layer in a edge emitting LED. And the radiated light in the edge emitting LED means the distance from here to here will be very large. If you take the edge emitting LED light, the distance from here to here will be very more compared to the distance from here to here. And the third question will be explain the characteristics of phototransistor. For this, we can explain the characteristics of phototransistor using the circuit diagram and also using the graphical representation. The circuit arrangement will be like this. We use the resistor, battery and the transistor. The name itself tells the phototransistor. For this we use the transistor, collector, base and the emitter. This will be the phototransistor circuit diagram, so that we can explain any 2 characteristics of phototransistor. First one will be output characteristics. Output characteristics mainly deals with the what will be the output of a phototransistor. Here we explain the output characteristics by a graphical representation. That will be in the x-axis we takes the VCE. VC is nothing but voltage across the collector and the emitter, and IC current across the collector. If you takes the readings of voltage and the current across the collector, emitter and the current along the collector, if you draw the graph or if you takes the data, when you increase the voltage or when you increase the voltage across the collector and the emitter, the current goes on increasing, and it will become constant for sometimes. This constant will goes on increasing. Similarly, if you takes the voltage, again if you increase the voltage or if you takes the voltage, current will goes on increasing and become the constant value after some time. That will be the output characteristics of phototransistor. If you goes on increasing the voltage, the current also goes on increasing and becoming constant after some times. We call that for higher value high value, for lower value A plus low value, and the lower first lower value as a dark current. And the third question part B will be, right, with a neat diagram explain the construction and working of junction photodiode. For this we have to write what will be the diagram of a junction photodiode and the construction and the working. The construction and working will be carry more marks based on the diagram. We can explain the construction and the working of junction photodiode. Junction photodiode is the basic photodiode consisting of P and N junctions. This will be the diagram of a PN junction diode or junction photodiode. This P will be consisting of P type semiconductor and N type semiconductor will be laid and doped at a center and connected to the battery and to the resistor. The construction junction photodiode is ordinary PN junction diode. This will be the basic junction diode and the ordinary junction diode. This will be works under the reverse bias. It has the P type material and also N type material and depletion region at a center. This depletion region is very important in the working of PN photodiode. This will be the construction of PN diode or junction. Strong reverse bias. When you supply the strong current to the PN junction, this P type and the N type, if you supply the more electric field to this PN junction, the depletion region will be goes on increasing. Because of the depletion region increasing, the electron or light will be emitting from the junction photodiode. From this depletion region, if you increase the current, the depletion region will be goes on increasing. Because of that increasing of junction or depletion region, the electron hole pair will be takes place and the current will be emitted from the PN junction photodiode. This will be the working of PN junction photodiode. Next one will be derive the expression for photoconduction gain. This is very important. We have to derive the photoconduction gain. The photoconduction gain will be given by the rate of flow of electron per second. What will be the rate of electron will be produced per second to the rate of generation of electron hole pair. What will be the electron per second, flow of electron per second to the rate of generation of electron hole pair. For this we have to take on some semiconductor having the length, breadth and the thickness and also connected to the battery. For this the energy will be absorbed, that h nu of energy will be absorbed through that semiconductor. This energy h nu will be always greater than energy gap. Eg will be our energy gap, that is Eg will be equal to h nu will be equal to hc by lambda. Lambda will be our wavelength. I will be the intensity of light on a slab. Intensity, what will be the intensity of will be taken as I naught will be intensity of light transmitted. I will be intensity of light on a slab. I naught will be intensity of transmitted light. So then we know that I will be equal to I naught e power minus alpha d. So that number of photon falling per second. So number of photon falling per second will be given by I naught BL divided by h nu. B will be breadth and L will be the length. The total photons, this will be per second and this will be per second. This will be the total photons absorbed per second will be given by eta I naught BL h nu. And the rate of generation of charge carrying per unit. If you take the unit, that will be the unit of charges at a per unit. And here delta N will be excess of electron density per unit volume and delta P will be excess of hole density. Here N will be the electron density and the P will be the hole density. And the recombination rate will be given by delta P by recombination time, delta C, TC or delta C. And if you substitute that delta N will be equal to delta P will be equal to RGTC, that is the electron density will be equal to the hole density, that will be equal to the recombination rate or the charge carrying per unit. If you substitute all the values, then we know that the conductivity of the semiconductor material, this is new equation, that is Ne mu E will be the for electron, this will be for the holes. The number of free electrons, Ne power number of free electrons, Pe for number of holes, E will be the charge of holes. So increase in conductivity will be given by this equation across the photon. Increase in the photocurrent will be given by delta I will be equal to BD by L, that is breadth, thickness and the length. The rate of flow of electron will be given by current divided by the electron. What will be the electron will be takes place. If you substitute all in the photoconduction gain, that is G will be given by the rate of flow of electrons divided by the rate of electron generated for hole. We get a value of G, that is Tc mu E plus mu H into V divided by L square. This will be the gain. And the fourth last question will be mention the uses of OLED. OLED is nothing but the organic LED. OLED is mainly used in the display of TVs, display of computer monitors and also used in the digital cameras. The main use of OLED will be used in the displays of, it may be TV, computers or maybe cameras. So this question will be carrying 3 marks and explain the VI characteristics of solar cell. So VI characteristics of solar cell also explained by using the graphical representation, that is voltage across the current. If you take the voltage along the x-axis and the current along the y-axis, this can be explained by the graphical representation. So if you increase the output, the current will also goes on increasing and comes to the constant resistor or constant value. So again if you increase the voltage, again that current will be comes to the constant value. After some times it will move to the maximum and becomes to the constant. So for this we can calculate the area below the two trials. We can calculate what will be the area below that curve and the maximum power. This point will be the maximum power, because when you increase the voltage, current will also goes on increasing. After this point the current will be constant. We call this point as the maximum power. So this will be the lower current, for this will be for higher current. So this will be the VI characteristics of solar cell. If you increase the voltage, current will also goes on increasing. After some times it will be become constant value. So last question will be explain the characteristics of OLED. OLED is mainly the organic OLED. OLED consisting of so many characteristics. First one will be forward bias characteristics and the second one will be resistor characteristics. So forward bias characteristics, at low voltage no current flows. So this also explained through an graphical representation along voltage and the current. If you goes on increasing the voltage, for voltage no current will be generated sometimes. For low voltage no current will be generated. If you goes on increasing the voltage, the current will be slightly increasing. After sometimes it will be increased very fastly and remains constant. This will be the forward bias current characteristics of OLED. If the voltage along x-axis and the current along y-axis, if you increase the voltage, at low voltage no current will be generated. After some voltage, after large voltage, the current will be goes on increasing. After some times it will be become constant. Next question will be OLED resistor characteristics. When the forward voltage across of OLED is decreasing, this means if you increase the forward voltage, the resistivity will be goes on decreasing. And the next part B will be consisting of 4 problems. That is, when a first problem will be when a constant DC drive current is supplied to an device, an optical output power is 300 microvolt. It is monetary current is recombination lifetime for LEDs 5 nanosecond. Calculate the optical output power when the device is modulated with an RMS drive current corresponding to the device current 20 megahertz frequency. For this we have to calculate the P output power, so that we know that PDC will be given and frequency will be given and the response time will be given. That is, PDC will be 300 microfarad, that is 300 into 10 power of minus 6 watt. Frequency will be 20 into 10 power of 6 hertz. Time will be 5 into 10 power of 9 seconds. The formula we know that we used in a bandwidth formula, that is P omega will be equal to PDC 1 plus omega time constant. Substitute all the values, we get a PDC value. And the second one will be the light output from the coupled into the steps index fiber with a numerical operate of 0.2, a core reflective index of 1.4 and the diameter larger than the diameter of the device. Determine the coupling efficiency into the fiber. And the second one will be optical loss. So we can calculate the two values, that is coupling efficiency and the optical loss, using these data. So first one will be given, NA will be 0.2, efficiency will be 1.4. First one will be coupling efficiency. The coupling efficiency will be given by the formula NA square. Just substitute the NA value and we get the coupling efficiency. So next question will be optical loss. Optical loss will be equal to minus log 10 PC by PE. This PC by PE will be given by the NE. That just substitute the NE value, we get the optical loss. And the seventh one will be a photodiode has the quantum efficiency of 65%. This will be our quantum efficiency eta. When the photon of energy 1.5 into 10 power of minus 17 joules are incident upon, we have to calculate the two part. That is, first one will be optical wavelength of photodiode and the incident optical power. So energy will be given by 1.5 into 10 power of minus 19. Efficiency will be 65%. If you convert the 65% as 0.65, and the E will be constant value, that is 1.6 into 10 power of minus 19, and IP will be 1.5 micro, this value, and just substitute the photo energy E will be equal to HF or H nu will be given by HC by lambda. Just substitute all the constant value and get the wavelength. And the responsibility will be given by R eta E HF. F H will be constant. Just substitute this value, we get the resistivity, and we know that the resistivity given by IP by P naught, just value of P naught. And the last question will be a quantum efficiency of a particle silicon is 80%. This will be the quantum efficiency, and the wavelength will be 0.3, and the wavelength will be 0.3, and the power will be 0.5. Just use the formula here is responsibility, same formula, responsibility will be eta E lambda HC. H and E will be our constant value. Just substitute the value and get the resistivity value. After that we can calculate the multiplication factor. Multiplication factor will be M equal to I by IP. For this value we need a IP value. For this IP will be given by P naught into R. R will be given, P naught will be given. Just substitute that value, we get a IP value. For that multiplication factor, just substitute the IP value and the I value. Just divide I value by IP value, we get the multiplication factor. Thank you.